What if the reason some people rise effortlessly while others grind endlessly with little to show is not talent, but their willingness to violate rules you still cling to, while you follow the script of fairness, decency, and restraint? The truly powerful are quietly reshaping the board. They see the game for what it is, a hierarchy that exists whether you acknowledge it or not. The first truth you must face is this: every circle you belong to operates on an invisible hierarchy, whether it's colleagues, friends, or family. You are placed, often unconsciously, somewhere on a scale of influence and value. You do it to others too, though rarely admit it. This ranking decides who gets invited first, who is trusted with opportunities, and who becomes an afterthought. In ancient Rome, senators knew their political survival depended not on laws, but on where they stood in the shifting pecking order of influence. Pretending this ladder doesn't exist only blinds you to how others are climbing over you. From this structure emerges a second, harsher truth. Your success will not always bring applause. It will ignite quiet rivalry. When you win, you force others to see where they have stalled, and that breeds envy. A colleague who once championed your work may now question your qualifications in private. A friend who celebrated your new relationship might secretly hope it collapses. The historian Plutarch wrote that the envy of one's friends is worse than the hatred of one's enemies, because it hides behind smiles. This shift in allegiance is not limited to friendships. It also lives in the person who shares your bed. Love can be genuine, yet the balance of benefit is always measured, consciously or not. A partner knows your strengths, but also your deepest insecurities, and in moments of strain may weigh whether staying serves their future. Machiavelli noted that fear, understood as respect for one's ability to affect outcomes, is more enduring than affection. Affection fades when expectations go unmet. Respect lasts as long as your influence remains intact. Kings once married for alliances, not sentiment in modern life. The same principle applies. Security and mutual benefit keep bonds intact far longer than passion alone. Interwoven with this is another law few will admit. Everyone has a price. For some, it is gold. For others, it is recognition, loyalty, protection, or even the preservation of a secret. Those who appear incorruptible simply have not been offered the currency they value most. The Persian general Themistocles could not be bribed with riches, but flattery and promises of eternal glory swayed him where gold could not. To influence anyone, you must know the form their price takes. Not to exploit, but to align your goals with their strongest desire. Yet desire is only one layer of the mask people wear. In public, most perform their goodness, their loyalty, their integrity for an audience. True virtue moves quietly. Performance virtue seeks witnesses. The one who posts endlessly about helping others may be building an image more than a legacy. The 19th century writer La Rochefoucauld observed, "We are more concerned about making others believe we are happy than in trying to be so." In the same way, many would rather appear righteous than act righteously. Watch what people do when the audience is gone. That is their true creed. Beneath the performances, the hidden rankings, and the delicate balance of love and fear, one question emerges. Will you keep playing by the rules written for you? Or will you learn to see the game for what it is? Those who refuse to see remain pawns. Convinced the board is fair, those who see begin to move differently, carefully, strategically, with the knowledge that loyalty is conditional, affection is transactional, and respect must be cultivated like a fortress no rival can breach. If what you've heard so far resonates, if you can already feel yourself seeing the patterns you've missed before, then make sure you stay until the end. Because by the time this is over, you'll have a complete set of principles that will make you immune to the games others play. And if you subscribe now, you won't just watch one video. You'll join a stream of insights designed to sharpen your mind until nothing in life catches you off guard again. The most valuable strategies are never given in the first moves. The final truths will be the ones you remember for the rest of your life. Another reality that separates the powerful from the powerless is how they handle identity. The more rigidly you define who you are, honest, loyal, forgiving, the more easily you can be steered. A man who swears he will never betray a friend can be manipulated into ruin by someone wearing the mask of friendship. A woman who prides herself on absolute honesty can be cornered into revealing things that destroy her. This is why the most strategic players keep their identity flexible. They choose loyalty when it serves, and distance when it doesn't. They tell the truth when it strengthens their position, and remain silent when it weakens it. As Bruce Lee said, "Be like water, adaptable, formless, impossible to grasp." Connected to this is the dangerous confusion between kindness and surrender. The habit of saying yes to avoid conflict slowly erodes your strength. People learn that you will absorb blame, carry their burdens, and forgive them without consequence. Mercy without boundaries is not virtue. It is an open invitation to exploitation. Seneca warned that he who spares the guilty harms the innocent. When you forgive without change, you invite repetition. Sometimes the most compassionate act is refusal, allowing reality, not you, to teach the lesson. This vulnerability deepens in moments of personal collapse, a breakup, financial ruin, illness. These do not just weaken you emotionally, they make you visible to predators. In history, warlords would wait for rival kingdoms to suffer famine or plague before launching an attack. Today, it's opportunists who show up when you are at your lowest, not to help, but to harvest. The desperate accept offers they would reject in strength. The grieving are persuaded to trust the untrustworthy. Your crisis can become someone else's foundation. Even your triumphs can be stolen if you guard them poorly. Ideas, like unfortified cities, invite conquest. The apprentice surpasses the master, not through original genius, but by refining what the master created. In business, the entrepreneur who shares too much too soon becomes the stepping stone for the one willing to execute faster, colder, without sentiment. Protect your creations until they are too far ahead to be overtaken. Ironically, the appearance of weakness can itself be a weapon. When underestimated, you're allowed to observe without scrutiny. Enemies reveal plans in your presence because they do not consider you a threat. This principle won battles in the courts of ancient China, where lesser-ranked ministers quietly amassed influence while their louder rivals destroyed each other. When you move, it is from a position of complete intelligence and zero expectation, giving you the element of surprise. But the sharpest blade in all of strategy is timing. The wrong move at the right time can succeed. The right move at the wrong time can fail completely. Revolts crushed too early become cautionary tales. Opportunities grasped too late become regrets. The skilled understand when to act and when to hold. This is not hesitation, it is positioning. When the perfect moment comes, it often wears the disguise of chaos. Those who have prepared act instantly. Those who have not call it luck. Linked to timing is the ability to make active decisions rather than accept the narrow menu handed to you. In the courts of medieval kings, choices were crafted by advisors who had already removed alternatives they did not want considered. Today, it is no different. The job you take, the deal you sign, even the relationships you enter often emerge from conditions someone else designed. To control your life, you must sometimes step outside the offered options and create a third path entirely, one no one saw coming. One of the most dangerous illusions is that good intentions guarantee good outcomes. History is full of well-meaning rulers, parents, and leaders whose mercy bred weakness or whose generosity enabled destruction. A parent shielding a child from every hardship raises an adult who cannot endure difficulty. A leader who delays unpopular decisions to preserve likability often lets small problems grow into crises. As Machiavelli warned, cruelty, when swift and purposeful, can be more merciful than kindness that prolongs harm. Sometimes the hardest truth is that real compassion demands allowing others to feel the sting of consequence. In the arena of influence, reputation outweighs character. Your private integrity shapes your conscience, but your public reputation shapes your opportunities. A commander known for victory will be entrusted with armies, even if his methods are doubted in private. A man of perfect ethics but poor perception will struggle to command loyalty. Reputation is the currency in which influence is traded, and it can be built faster than character. but it can also be destroyed without touching who you really are. This is why the wise protect it fiercely, knowing most people will never see enough of their character to judge it fairly. Loyalty, too, is more fragile than it appears. Many will stand beside you in failure because it makes them feel generous, wise, or superior. The moment your success exposes their stagnation, their warmth cools. In wartime, allies may rally when the enemy is strong, but as soon as a victory is near, they maneuver for their own gain. Test loyalty when you have something to lose, not when you have nothing. Only then will you see who remains for you, rather than for what you provide. Another lever of control lies in the secrets you keep. Every hidden truth is a point of leverage against you, whether or not it has been discovered. Secrets restrict freedom. They force you to avoid certain people, topics, or opportunities out of fear of exposure. Those with nothing to hide cannot be blackmailed, coerced, or maneuvered into silence. The most dangerous opponent is one whose life is open because there is no weapon to use against them. Power, when shared without care, loses its sharpness. Divided authority is slower, less decisive, more prone to conflict. In empires, joint rule often led to paralysis because each leader could block the other. Even in personal life, outsourcing key decisions to others dilutes your sovereignty. It is wise to consult, to gather intelligence, but in the end, the final choice must be yours. Decision is the essence of power. Without it, influence withers. Fortune favors those who prepare with discipline and act with boldness. What seems like luck from the outside is often years of quiet work, skills honed, alliances built, contingencies prepared. When opportunity comes, the unprepared hesitate. The prepared move instantly. Julius Caesar's swift crossing of the Rubicon was not rash. It was the culmination of years of groundwork, alliances, and strategy. Boldness without preparation is recklessness. Preparation without boldness is wasted potential. Even the most capable benefit from those who have already walked the path. A mentor compresses years of trial into days of teaching. In every era, apprentices, squires, and students sought out those whose strengths matched their own weaknesses. The philosopher Aristotle shaped Alexander's mind long before he shaped the battlefield. To refuse guidance is to waste time relearning lessons carved into history by those before you. The wise seek teachers not to worship them, but to surpass them. One of the most decisive moves in any contest is refusing to play by rules you never agreed to. Many remain trapped in games of status, approval, and conformity, measuring themselves by metrics they did not choose. The moment you stop competing on those terms, you force others to face the emptiness of their own victories. The merchant who no longer chases prestige robs his rivals of comparison. The friend who will not be guilted starves the manipulator of leverage. As the Stoics taught, freedom comes not from winning the game, but from understanding you can walk away entirely. Mortality sharpens this freedom. The knowledge that your time is finite forces choice. Scarcity creates value. It is only because life ends that moments matter. If you could live forever, no opportunity would feel urgent, no relationship precious. The warrior fights differently when he knows the battle may be his last. Your death is not an enemy, but the very condition that makes your life worth guarding. To leave a mark beyond your years, you must act as if your days are limited, because they are. Yet even the life you live will be rewritten when you are gone. History is not an impartial record. It is a weapon wielded by those in power. Victors recast defeats as victories, and villains become heroes when values shift. Consider how Julius Caesar is celebrated in one history as a reformer and condemned in another as a usurper. The only part of your legacy you can control is the portion you shape while you are alive. And even then, power determines how it will be remembered. The stronger your position, the harder it is for others to distort your story. All of these principles mean little if they remain only in your mind. The harshest truth is that knowledge without action is nothing but intellectual comfort. Most will nod, feel enlightened for an hour, and then return to habits that keep them weak. The difference between those who rule their lives and those who are ruled is not insight, it is execution. Replace cheap indulgences with deliberate practice. Turn reflexes into strategy. Choose the path of resistance over the path of ease, because the former shapes strength and the latter erodes it. Once you see the game clearly, you cannot unsee it. You either learn to move with purpose and precision, or you live at the mercy of those who already do. The board is set. The players are moving, and your time is finite. Whether you choose to become the strategist of your own life or remain a piece in someone else's plan, that is the final decision only you can make.